Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Another episode of Creating Lasting Change. Change your beliefs, change your life. I am really excited to be talking today with Cynthia Dombrowski, and we're talking about how she handled toxicity from her breast implants and how she really is thriving now since removing them. So let me introduce her and then let us get rolling on this conversation because I'm very interested in hearing how she handled it. And I love talking about different types of nutrition because I think it's very important for us. Cynthia Dombrowski is a breast implant illness thriver that healed her body from 30 unexplained symptoms from toxicity. Since having her implants removed in 2019, it put her on a path to discover how to bring the body back to optimal health. Cynthia has become a certified nutrition coach and is also a certified fitness instructor that teaches rebounding and bungee fitness with an emphasis on strength training. She believes we have the power to heal our bodies if we provide it with what it needs and by tuning into our own intuition. And I absolutely believe that by tuning into our own intuition, we have the ability to heal ourselves. Welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So share a little bit what happened back in 2019 and share a little bit about the different symptoms that you couldn't understand and doctors couldn't really give you an answer to.
So 2019 was really that plummeted point of when everything kind of hit the fan. This had been building up over 16 years. Started out with just basic symptoms, like IBS, acid reflux, simple things that a lot of people sometimes deal with. And, I started having really difficult and painful periods. I started having bloating all the time, tiredness, the fatigue. I have had every single test over the years, colonoscopies, all the things. Never was anything explained. I would have weird joint pain, where one time I actually wasn't doing anything, got pain in my knee so bad I could barely walk, went to an orthopedic doctor, he did x-rays, found nothing, did an MRI, found nothing. No explanation as to why it would cause that, nothing. And by the time that I went to a doctor, a functional doctor, because I was at my wit's end. I couldn't sleep, but I was having insomnia. I was having blurred vision, no focus. I had body aches all over my body. I actually stumbled upon a post on Facebook of a woman who was going through very similar things and had no explanation and found that she had breast implant illness. So I reached out to her, and that was when I researched a whole weekend into this group with thousands of women that were all experiencing very similar issues, not getting any answers from doctors, and have having their implants removed and feeling better. And I won't say that healing is instant, right? It involves lifestyle habits, all the things. So it's not like you just remove them and you're good to go. But I will say that was a very start of my healing journey, was having them removed.
And that's important because I remember 9 years ago, I had a weird symptom, like my neck was off. And when I went to the doctor, he's like, I'm going to give you an ultrasound. Let's see what this is. And I think it's important that we listen to whatever's going on in our body so that we go and research and figure it out. Because for me, like you said, I absolutely agree. When I had my diagnosis and my health situation back then, I did a lot of research and it was not overnight. It wasn't like, boom, let's remove this, or boom, let's give you this and it's going to heal it. No, it's a whole lifestyle change.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no timeline to healing. It's different for everybody, So I think big thing with that is to get a word of comparison, right? Because if you're comparing your healing journey to someone else's, even if they've had the same issue, that's going to stump you up. You're going to have trouble healing, So it's meeting yourself where you're at and knowing what you need to do. And when I say toxicity and healing from toxicity, it's not just the toxicity of the toxins that were in my body from breast implants that are hormone disruptors, carcinogens, and all these different things. It was like a rude awakening of, wow, okay, I'm using these plugins, burning candles with petroleum, I'm using maybe products on my hair and skin, makeup, all these products, they
Mhm.
contribute to toxicity on an everyday level, especially for women, because we use that stuff and men don't, right? So cleaning products, all of these things. So it was slowly, I started to take away certain things, look at things, research what I'm using. And that's another issue in itself.
Oh, yeah.
But that really helped too, was taking some of those other things out that were contributing to the already overload of toxicity they had. So my rainbow was full. Like I've got, antibiotics over the years of having chronic sinus and all these different things. All the use of that causes issue within the gut.
Mhm.
So there's a multitude of things that I had to heal from. I had gut issues for many, many, many years, especially with the implants.
Yeah, it's interesting too because when I also went on my healing journey, I literally came home one day and just started throwing things away. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh no, this," you know. And it's not just you're buying one product and that's it. Here's
Mm,
the thing, you have to stay on top of the products, and if they sell it to a different company, then things change. So it is constantly taking a look at what you're using, what you're putting on on your face, on your body, toothpaste, mouthwash, makeup, like I am constantly looking into where I buy my makeup, where I buy my remover, my face creams, everything, because
yeah,
it's important. You have to see what toxic overload you're dealing with. And the same thing goes with your detergent. And by no means am I
yeah.
saying throw it all out today. It takes time to do the research. It takes time to constantly change product after product after product. And yes, it can be a little tiny bit pricey.
It can be, and it can be overwhelming. And I say
Yes.
the best thing to do when you're starting to eliminate toxic stuff, start with one thing.
Mhm.
Pick the thing that you think is maybe the worst out of the list of things that you're using right now, and start there instead of trying to eliminate all the things at once. It's just like trying to, I'm going to do a fitness program. I'm going to work out 7 days a week and you eat this, da, 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 and you put all these things on yourself and you become overwhelmed, and then you stop and you do nothing. Right.
Yeah.
So I haven't done all the things. I'm just getting now a water filter.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, and it's cost. I had to heal the body with certain other things. Getting the implants out, that's a cost because insurance doesn't pay for it. So it is something that you have to pay for if you have them most of the time. Some cases, some women have had them removed and insurance is paid, but typically not. And then healing in general,
Mm.
right? It's a cost. I wouldn't say that buying farm fresh vegetables or buying produce is a cost more than buying processed food, because we pay for it on the other end later, right? So what we're putting in our bodies now is going to prevent us from having that toxicity and preventing us from illness and all of those things. So it's worth the extra cost, and you just give certain things up. Maybe don't go to Starbucks every day. You know what I mean? Like take the unnecessary things out, give your body what it needs, and take out what it doesn't. And that's when you can heal, you know?
Yeah, that's really important. And I'm just curious, so I want to ask the question.
Yeah.
A lot of it is physical, what we're putting in our bodies, but at the same time, there is a mental and emotional
Oh yeah.
aspect too. So how were you also addressing that?
I got into doing yoga first
Mm.
and then some meditation and things. And for me, going outdoors is very spiritual to me, therapeutic. You connect with nature. So things like that were very important um, because I was a go, go, go. And that doesn't help when you're already in a fight or flight state. So learning to calm the parasympathetic nervous system and implementing yoga and things like that could calm the body were huge in the healing, and sitting with oneself, because there were things that I was doing that I had to sit and say, okay, something needs to change. So we all have some kind of bad habits, right? And being honest and real with yourself about what they are,
Yeah.
how they're affecting you, and are you willing to change them? And so healing is a journey of emotional, physical, and spiritual. It's all intertwined, so you can't get away with, I think, healing one and not the other.
Yeah.
Trauma, that's a big one. I had it, losing my husband from stage 4 cancer. And literally just had this epiphany recently now with my mom having cancer and trying to help her on a holistic level. Um, I caught myself saying to her, well, I couldn't heal my husband, but I can heal you. So things are constantly being revealed to us,
Mhm.
and we just have to be open to listen to it.
Yeah. I think it's important. A lot of it is self-awareness. Like, how do you feel when you're doing something? I mean, because I absolutely had this journey too. And it is a never-ending journey. It is
Yeah.
not a one-time fix all. It is like an onion. I never understood that, but it really is like an onion. You're peeling one layer, and then
Yeah.
something you thought you healed or you addressed, you're like, oh, there's another aspect to it that is coming up for you to look at. So it is a constant journey of empowering and inspiring yourself and looking and being honest. I think that's so important because so many people try to shut the door and like, I'm not looking at that, but you have to look at that to really heal yourself because emotions get stuck in the body.
Oh,
And to
absolutely.
calm the parasympathetic nervous system, it is addressing that.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not addressing all the situations that go along with it, but I think more feeling those emotions that are with it and letting it go.
Yeah. 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 So that's a huge part of the whole toxicity thing because it becomes toxic. Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, I've read things that state you can actually end up with illness from holding on to trauma
Yes.
because it gets stored in different areas in your back and your gut. I think for me, if they make the connection, and I had a doctor actually say this to me once, that your all your like emotion and stuff is in your gut. Like that's your stresses is in your gut. So that could be a big part of it, is that trauma may, okay, I feel like I've healed from it, but then something else is revealed and something else pops up through another situation. So we're always healing, we're always evolving and growing. This journey of life, right, is never ending. I mean, there's always something new that pops up,
Mhm.
and you have to learn how to deal with it, how to react to it or not react to it, you know?
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
love how you said that because it's really important. I also love that you brought in our parasympathetic nervous system because too many people are go go go, fight or flight, go go go. It's like this constant little hamster wheel we're all on.
Mhm.
So I'm going to assume, and please tell me if I'm wrong, that you were also on that hamster wheel because I know when I got mine, I was, hell yes, I was. I ran until I got up in that morning till I went to bed at night. It's like I did not give myself very much in the way of downtime.
Yep. I think sometimes we feel like we're lazy, right?
Oh, yes.
If we, or we feel guilty. Like I think as women, especially, we feel like we need to do all the things, right? I mean, take care of the kids, take care of the husband, cook, take care of the dogs. I got to do all the things and forget to take time for ourselves. Even if it's 5 minutes, to go outside, sit out in the sun and breathe, right? That's a very simple thing, but how often do we do that? Or just look up and be like, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this day. I'm so grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my body. Thanking your body. And that was something I did a lot, is look at myself in the mirror after, having my implants removed and be like, thank you, body. Because all the things that I've made mistakes. I didn't always eat great. I'm not perfect, just like everybody else. And forgiving ourselves, giving ourselves some grace. And I think the body needs to hear that, right? We can't always be like mad about losing the weight because the weight is a side benefit. What's the other reasons? Right? What are the other reasons you want to heal? It's not just that one thing. It's not just the number on the scale. It's way more abstract than that, you know? Um, so yeah, I'm kind of ranting on.
No, no, but it's true because, we tend to look at what society thinks is good versus what internally we really need. And it is important to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, because this is the body we have for however many years we're on this earth, and it's how are we going to treat it? How are we going to give it exactly what it needs? And I like how you say like intuition. What exactly do you mean by that?
So our bodies are constantly telling us things, right?
Mm,
Symptoms are a sign of a root issues. But intuitively, back before I had my implants removed, I knew I was getting like that intuitive message in my mind, in my body, that I needed to get them out. These were making me sick. Like I already knew.
mhm,
So I think we are our best doctor because our bodies are constantly telling us things, whether it be, you're getting pain in your back or whatever it may be. And we tend to ignore it because we've been told to ignore intuition. We go to the doctor, we're told we're crazy. Oh, it's a woman thing. We get our 7 minutes and no one really listens. Um, so we have to tune in. We have to tune into what we're hearing in our mind, what we're thinking in our body doesn't feel right, and look for answers, right? Maybe do an inventory of what your daily habits look like. I think that's a good place to start because list it all and be honest. Like, you're eating a bunch of processed food, you're drinking a lot of alcohol, are you not exercising, are you not doing things that are showing love and respect to your body that in the end are going to help you have health and longevity, right? So I think it's just we got to wake up. We got to wake up to that intuitive knowing that we have within us and be willing to listen to it. Because if we don't, sometimes there's a price to pay if you ignore it. It's like if you had a symptom and you thought you're having a heart attack, you're going to go to the hospital, right? You're not going to ignore it. So intuitively, your body's like, okay, something's wrong.
yeah.
So you listen. So it's like that with anything when it comes to our body and whatnot. Intuitively, we see that about people. You might connect with someone intuitively, there's something about them, the energy just doesn't connect. So I think it goes for that too, on a spiritual level of connection too.
Well, I definitely want to, you know, congratulate you for listening to your intuition because, guys, she told me about detoxing and I laugh at her, right? But here's the thing. My body was like a hell yes. It is time to detox. And I'm like, my mind is telling me you're not going to eat food for 2 days, so it's an interesting thing here that's going on. So I have a little bit of resistance because I have not done this. However, my body is very happy that I'm going to be doing this. It's
Mhm.
intuitively telling me, and it was like a 1 to 3 week protocol. And I was like, all right, so let's do 1 week. We haven't done that. And I just kept hearing two, two, two. So I'm like, all right, I'm doing 2 weeks. But that is a level of my body's talking to me and me paying attention to it and giving it what it desires.
Mm.
Like, so our brains, may say, oh, hell no, but our body's like, this is what we need. This is what we desire. This is what we choose. Just like I may be, and that's happened more than once where I have not had beef for a couple of weeks and all of a sudden I'm like I'll hear hamburger beef, like, so I
Yep.
know that night I'm going to make myself a hamburger. It's about tuning in to what your body really desires. And just like
Intuitive eating.
yeah, years ago I loved cheese. Like, I loved it. I had it every single day. I
Yeah.
cut cheese, and I would bring it with me to work in bags, and all of a sudden one day I was sick,
Mm.
nauseous. I didn't feel good. So I thought I had bad cheese. And I said to my husband, I'm like, can you eat, sip this, eat this, tell me what's going on? He goes, it's fine. And I'm like, all right. I didn't believe him. I threw it out, bought a new one. Same thing happened.
Mm.
All right. Threw it out, bought a different, different type of cheese.
Determined.
So, and again, so I was like, shit, I stopped eating the cheese.
Yeah.
And several months later, I found out that I when I did a sensitivity, that immediately all dairy came up.
Uh,
So I cut out all dairy.
yeah.
So it's just a matter, I mean, we may love something, but our body may not, you
True.
know. And as an Italian, I love my lasagna, my mozzarella, all of these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I've
And
always
I
loved cheese
I
too.
don't
Yeah.
I don't use. So I would love to hear, what are some ways your intuition told you no or yes
About the implants.
about the implants? I mean, I know you would discuss the implants, but what about the foods? What about the other
Well,
things?
foods, because you're going to get bloating. You might get pain in your joints. That can be one that's common from eating dairy or certain things like that. You might get joint pain, allergy-like symptoms, things like that. can be a sign. Some people might get headaches. So it's going to look different for everybody. But for me, some of the things that were like healthy things that I was eating were causing bloating. You know, cauliflower is one I've taken out on this protocol I'm doing right now. But say if you have candida or yeast overgrowth and you're having onion and garlic, that can agitate the gut and make it worse. So I actually did get tested for that a while back. I didn't do the protocol right away. And I'm in the process of doing it now. And it's been 5 weeks without onion garlic. Notice a huge difference. No bloating, eating a ton of fiber, vegetables, no sugar, no gluten. So gluten's another one. Gluten, you're gonna get that stomach pain. I mean, I get instant like blow up, bloating, distended stomach sometimes from that. Sourdough might be a better option, but I mean, you just have to kind of recognize how you feel after you eat a meal. Maybe you feel fatigued. You shouldn't really feel fatigued after you eat a meal. You know, maybe you're not digesting your food properly, you know? So those are some ways to decipher that. Um, but I want to just ask you what your feeling is when you say resistance, when you're talking about the detox. So I kind of look at resistance as resistance being the exact thing we need to do, right? I think we always tend to feel resistance about things that we're like, I need to do this. It's that pull, right? It's like that little voice. You don't need to do this. You need to do, you know what I mean? And I felt that at the beginning of the detox. I was like, I've always used onion garlic. I have to take that out. And I was making this big freaking deal about it. Right. So, and then I was like, but I get to eat all these other things. So
Yeah.
I use ginger. There's so many other spices. So we focus on what we have to take away rather than focusing on all the things we get to add in. And that's when we have that more resistance if we're not focusing in the right direction.
So for me, my resistance is I'm not going to be able to eat when I want.
Yeah.
My resistance is no chocolate. You know, these are things that I know. See, for me, there's different types of resistance. When I get talk and it comes with resistance, I know it's just trying to keep me safe or keep me where I'm at.
Yeah.
When I have resistance in my body without any talk, then I know that this is not the path for me to go down. And in this case, it's just being spoiled because I can't have chocolate, really.
Yeah.
So for me, it's I know what it is, and I've learned to decipher between the two, especially when it comes to resistance. So I know that this is going to be very good for me. So I'm excited about it. So, and again, it's like you brought up, it's intuitively my body's saying yes. It feels good. Like my body feels good when I think about the detox. It doesn't matter what my brain is saying. It matters that my body's feeling good. So I know this is the path for me to take. So I'm also curious, and I don't know if you want to share this, but sometimes how was your experience with some of the doctors? Because I've also been there where the doctor's like, there's nothing wrong with you. And it's like, but there is.
Horrible. Horrible. I mean, it was 16 years of feeling like I was a hypochondriac, like I was crazy. I never got answers. I would go and I would try to explain what was going on. And it was like the same thing. I'm going back to the same thing. And now there's another thing added to that. And it just kept building and building and building. And you really feel like you're crazy. The system really fails us. I mean, if you think about it, like I said, you only get about 7 minutes. So it's not necessarily the doctor's fault, but you go in and you get just about enough time to go in there for them to maybe give you a pill and a lab test, you know? And Western medicine has still not really said, okay, yes, breast implants do cause breast implantless, you know? The only thing that has helped me is working with a holistic or functional doctor and doing the work myself, right? So, I mean, I started doing coffee enemas. That was something I was resistant about. I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. But I was about ready to do anything, right? When you're at the point where you just feel like you're dying from the inside out, you're working out, you're eating right, you think you're eating right, you're doing all the right things, but your body just feels like it's dying. When you're so fatigued and you can't function to do the normal everyday things, that's a struggle. You want to change that. And once you get past that point, you'll do about anything not to go back there.
Oh, yes, I agree with that. I
You
agree with
know, and I think it's just like say giving up sugar. So 2 weeks, no sugar. I'm not dead.
Well,
Nobody in my family's dead,
I
you
also want you to
know,
clarify when you say sugar, what types of sugar?
so no sugar at all.
So yes, but it's not white sugar, was it?
No, I never used really white sugar for a while now, but no coconut sugar, no honey, no maple syrup, no stevia, nothing. So basically right now I'm just eating whole foods, tons of vegetables, fruit, organic, meats, no red meat. So fish, chicken, turkey, I can have wild game meat, um, starches, so like sweet potato, regular potato, different kind of squashes and things like that, but
Mhm,
no snacking. I'm actually satiated and full. I'm also healthy fat, so I'm eating healthy fat. So people always like are afraid of fat. There's good fat, bad fat, like stay away from the bad oils, like seed oils and things like that, canola oil, because those stay in your body longer. And I actually just listened to something the other day that talks about how they change the cells, and people are holding on to visceral fat, that it's making them hard to lose it.
mhm.
So it's causing a tremendous amount of damage. It's like crude oil. We're not meant to use canola oil. So, um, but yeah, I mean, if you're eating the right foods, um, your body's getting what it needs. It feels satiated, and you don't feel like you need to snack and graze all day long. So no more need for like, oh, I need a protein, I need an energy ball, right? I mean, this is just in my head, you know. And I was having those things, and now I'm not even craving them. Like,
Mm.
no desire. And I can remember a time, and I'm sure we've all done this, where I've been opening up cabinets, like, where the fuck is a piece of chocolate? Like, I'm gonna freaking kill somebody. I gotta get my car, I gotta go to the store. I just need a little piece of chocolate. I've been that person at times. So
Yeah.
I know that feeling. I used to make gourmet chocolate. I mean, I'm a chocolate snob. I grew up in a house where my mom made ice cream every night, you know? So we had the desserts and stuff like that, and sugar's addictive. But once you get past a certain number of days, all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is who I am. Like, you have more focus, more energy, you sleep better, you just all around start feeling better. You don't realize how damaging it is, especially if it's coming in, you're drinking sugary drinks, these energy drinks and things like that. The soda, whether it's diet soda, regular soda, diet soda actually makes you crave more. The more processed food we eat, the more we crave. And then we add like another 500 to 1,000 calories in that are unnecessary, because that stuff makes us want more and more and more. So learning how to take that stuff out is a big part of healing. And then if you're not getting that stuff in, supplementation. We
Mm.
don't need to take 50 supplements, but if you're not getting X, Y, and Z from your diet, say you don't eat much fish and aren't a fish lover, you probably want to take omega-3, because you need healthy omega-3s, right? For heart health, brain health, all those things,
Yeah.
magnesium, vitamin D, if you're not in the sun much. Those are staples, and in detoxing, I use a methylation B complex, helps the body detox. The coffee enemas, they help detox the body and boost your body's glutathione naturally. Um, so there's a lot of things that we can do on a holistic level, but really food is medicine. Between food and is medicine, and nature and meditation and all these things combined, we can heal ourselves.
Our
And
bodies
we
have it
need to we
innate.
need to wake up and start doing this, because the medical system, let's face it, it's broken. It's broken.
And our bodies do have an innate ability to heal itself.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do need that extra help from Western medicine.
Yep, you
Sometimes you
do.
need something, but at the same time that you're getting and implementing that, it's just as important to continue with your foods and your exercise and your healing modalities, whatever that is for you, whether that's meditation, yoga, or journaling, any of these things to help calm the mind so that you're not constantly in that fight, flight, run, rush mode. Because
Yeah.
as people, we're not meant to do that. We're not meant to go 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 24/7 without giving ourselves a daily break, which I think is so important. I would
Yeah.
like to backtrack for 1 second. You were talking about seed oil versus healthy fats and oils. Can you get into that a little bit more?
So canola oil, and there's cottonseed oils, that there's like the bad eight and the brain fart, can't think of them all off the top of my head, but you know, you want to be using things like olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, tallow, you know, things like that. Those are better options for you. Butter, they always said butter's not bad. Grass-fed butter, you know.
Mhm,
So you can use those things, and those are a better option because those oils, like canola oil, they can stay in your body for up to 2 years,
mhm.
which
So
is
like
insane.
grapeseed oil,
Yeah,
sunflower oil.
yeah, not great either. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Olive oil is probably one of the best, but I mean, you want to watch what you're when you're buying. You don't want to buy it in a plastic bottle. Buy it in a dark bottle. Make sure it is actually, you know, pure olive oil. I prefer cold pressed and organic, you know. But yeah, don't get the plastic bottle and one that's like a light colored, because the light gets through, so that it diminishes the oil a bit, you know. So
These are all good tips too.
yeah, yeah. And I just sort of think too, like heat point, that's a bunch of bull, some of that too, which I thought was interesting. Um, that it's no, there's not necessarily, it's more of a marketing thing. So I thought that
Oh,
was
okay.
interesting. It's something new I just heard the other day. I didn't into the details of it, but it was interesting to hear that, because it's the first time I've ever heard that about the smoke point not being such a big thing, you know. More
Yeah.
for restaurants, because they have to heat things faster and quicker.
Mm.
Um, like I switched and I bought non-toxic cookware. So when I cook on a low heat, so it doesn't oxidate my food, doesn't pull the nutrients. So when I make potato, I can put potato in my pan with just a small amount of water and cook it for like 10 minutes. My potato's done. And it comes up fabulous, and it has a ton of flavor. So that's pretty much how I cook a lot of my vegetables in my cookware. I don't use the microwave anymore.
Mm.
Haven't for over a year, and actually don't miss it. I cook most everything in my heated up in my skillet. I eat a lot of cold food. Honestly, I mean, that's just, you know, during the day with work, I eat my cold food, whether it's chicken and potato or whatever. And some people don't like that, but that's just, I'm so used to it that I don't mind that. And then I eat a hot supper at night. So
Yeah. All right, everybody, it is about time. Thank you so much for joining us, and share where people can reach out to you if they have any questions.
I'm on Facebook. That's pretty much where I'm on all the time. That's my main platform. So if you're looking to connect, you can connect with me there.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a very happy Saturday, and thank you so much for joining us, Cynthia.
Thank you.